Well, here we go. It's day one, morning one. I'm at the Chalhuaquen Lodge on the Rio Grande River, and just traveled in yesterday and just got geared up, and I'm actually walking down to the river. We're actually going to float right from the lodge down. Here this morning, you can take a look at the lodge and just kind of our surroundings here. Location's really cool. It's just this cool old lodge. And I just want to show you, I mean, it looks like 100 miles away, these mountains on the GoPro style camera. But yeah, we're right over the river right here. So you can see we're going to launch the boats right down there. So I'm going to just carry my gear. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to carry my gear down, and you can see the lodge back there behind us. First day of fishing, so I don't really know what to expect, but we're going to go fish the big river behind us there this morning, and then we'll have a different fishery each day. So follow along in the series here, and you'll see a different fishery each day and learn a little bit in the process of what it's like fishing in this part of Patagonian Argentina. So stick with the whole series. There will be a number of videos that come out, and hope you join along and watch all of them. And we'll just see how it goes and see how all the different fisheries work out. We're going to fish big rivers, small rivers, lakes, and spring creeks all this week. So this is the dock right down from the lodge, and they have these really great boats. We'll talk about them more later, but these are their own design. They actually they have the forms to build their own fiberglass boats here in Argentina. So they look a lot like a North American drifter, but they're doing all of the design and building the forms themselves, which is cool. So we're fishing in hard boats. This is the Rio Grande right here. And I'm going to fish a 6-weight today. I'm going to fish my 6-weight R8, and that's the one I like so much with the fighting butt for streamers. I'm going to start with a big yellow, kind of a big yellow yummy or big yellow JJ bugger. I'd like the yellow streamer because I can see it. And then I've got an Orvis Helios D 9-foot 5-weight that I'm going to throw with dries today. So I haven't fished this Orvis rod much, so I was asked to test it. But yeah, this dock is cool. We got this floating dock right here, and then a couple of boats. There's going to be one other party, Kelly and Jim, that are with us are going to go in the other boat. And this is a pretty sweet setup as far as just getting in and out of the boats and being able to moor the boats here. And take a look at the water. Let me change flies. Yeah, we've been dry fly fishing for a little bit. We're straight across from the lodge, which is really cool. So we moved over across the river, and when we were rowing over, there were some really nice fish feeding on dry flies. There's a Mayfly hatch going, and I started out just throwing like a fat Albert, and you know, thinking that I would be able to get them to rise to a big beetle or a fat Albert or something like that. But really, what I was really thinking would happen is I would see more fish feeding and rising and hitting the surface in here, and I just haven't seen anything else. I fished for about 15-20 minutes, no grabs. So I'm going to switch up to a little streamer, and we'll see if this small streamer does anything. I'm in this nice flat here, and there's these beautiful weed beds mixed with gravel. And so there are kind of these little slots. It's like a giant spring creek. So there are these little slots in the weed bed. So I'm going to throw a streamer into some of these slots in here, and we'll see if that picks anything up. There. So as it worked out, I got nothing on that streamer on the other side. And we hiked across to a side channel, and I found a pool full of trout under the willows. So check this out. Oh. It's like every time I get near them, they're swimming the wrong way. That was big fish. I was like, I'm like hiding right in this tree right here. Oh, there's one. Damn it. You see him right there? switch to a different nymph that hopefully they do like. Switch to the old meathead. Oh, he's right there. Got him. Got him, finally. There we go. That was nuts. Go ahead. That was nuts. That was not an easy fish to catch, despite it being like a 10-foot cast. Look at those fish surrounding it down there. Dude, you can't see it on video, but there's like, it's like a shark tank in here. I can see there's my fish, and then there's two more just like it, or bigger, just in line with the fish I've got on. Look at that. So that's my first trout in this area of Argentina, and it took a while. It was tricky fishing. It was tricky fishing in here. And it's going to be tricky landing. If I fall in there, I'm not getting back out. So this is going to be kind of interesting. It's just a sheer drop off right here. That's like I'm not making it up. If you fell in the water right there, you would not get back in. Oh, come on, buddy. Get up. No, he's not quite played out yet. That's as low as I can get without falling in right there. Got him. Got him. All right, that's my first trout with Patagonia Trout Outfitters. And that was a memorable one. I actually had to switch flies a couple of times. And yeah, beautiful. We'll get him back in the water pretty quick. But yeah, that's a great rainbow. Very tough spot to land him here. It's a slick, muddy bank. If I fell in, like literally, I'd have to swim out to the edge of the eddy. There's no way I'd get back in. But you saw some of it on video, but there's like, we were hiking downstream and we walked under this willow tree and I just started seeing heads coming up, and there's no canopy of which to cast. So it's pretty much all bow and arrow cast, and like these, you know, totally handicapped roll cast. But I switched flies a couple of times in there and finally just triggered them. I just used a little meathead because they were feeding on these mayflies just under the surface, and I could see them feeding in there, and it was really frustrating because I, you know, slapped a beetle in there a couple times just expecting them to eat it, but it was much more of a match the hatch type scenario. So that's great. Got my first trout on day one, and I'm pretty much within sight of the lodge. Back behind us, there's a few trees in the way, but I'm walking distance from the lodge, which is really cool. So we're up on a high bank. We're using this high bank so we can see down, and there's a handful of really nice trout right here, and I'm coming up on one right here. Coming up on one. Didn't take the dry. Didn't take my dropper. Damn it. There's another big one. I'm going to try this one right there. Oh, I about hit him on the head. There he is. Oh, missed him. Try him again. Oh, my beetle is drowning. Try that big one again that's in the slack water. Beautiful. Come on, 3, 2, 1. On the dry. Oh, that was awesome. That was so great. And it ate the dry fly too. That was so good. I just climbed through a barbed wire fence and my net was on my back. It got stuck, so I gotta get my net from the barbed wire fence. I wish you could have filmed. I wish you could have filmed the absolute crap show of me getting excited and And that was almost another crap show right there. I saw the big trout down there, and I got so excited I tried to climb through the fence with my net on. And oh no, I got it. I tried to climb through the fence with my net on, and of course I got my net stuck in the fence, and then proceeded to hook the fish with my net on the other side of the barbed wire fence. Nice rainbow. That was a long cast. There we go. Got him. I love it when they almost, yeah, they don't quite fit in the net. That's the best. So that's my second trout here at Patagonia Trout Outfitters at the Chalhuaquen Lodge. And beautiful fish. Just get a real quick look. Got a little, oh, there we go. I like it when they're ready to go like that. And that fish, I mean, nothing fancy. It just ate that micro chubby, Montana Fly Company micro chubby in the beetle color. But yeah, that was good fun, sight casting from the high bank. Okay, so I caught that nice fish. It was awesome. But we were fishing little droppers earlier because they were eating on a mayfly hatch, and now I'm going to switch. There's some grasshoppers up here that I just noticed for the first time. So we're going to switch up to just a single grasshopper, and we're walking over this big pool, and I'm just going to target single fish just with a just a grasshopper like this. So that's our next goal, is to get one on a hopper. Okay, so there's 3 fish that I can see in there, and I put that hopper on them pretty good 3 times, and not interested in it. So I'm gonna switch to just a beetle. I'd really like to just catch them on dries if I can, although you can see that the fish are eating just under the surface. And so anyway, I'm gonna switch to a fly that I've done really well on in the past. That's a ground beetle, and it's a little bit flashier than the hopper. And so it's important when you get into a spot like this, if you're making good casts on the fish, just try each fish 2, maybe 3 times, and then back off, and don't just keep eating on them, because this river is so incredibly clear. They can see the fly, and it's apparent that they did not like or prefer that hopper for whatever reason. So we're gonna immediately switch up to this ground beetle, and I've had good success on that ground beetle in the past. So let me trim that. And okay, let's just go ahead and let's run straight into a caster. So I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun being able to see the fish from up here. And so we're gonna stay with this for a little bit. And the fish, they're down deep. I'm just gonna set one in there because that's a safe place. There's no fish there right now. But what we'll do is, the fish are down deep, and then they love to come up. Okay, there's one right there. They love to come up in the water column. There's one right at the head of that seam. And I think part of the trick, this is my first time here, but I think part of the trick is not just casting at every fish when they're deep, but actually waiting for that fish to be like up in the water column, and then being patient, and then making a good shot once the fish is like up near the surface. Because the water must be 10 or 15 feet down in the deep part of it, but those rainbows will come sit just right under the surface when they're really feeding. So we'll wait for a little bit, and then when we see one up on the surface, we'll try them again. I had to kind of hide behind the fence so that we didn't spook these fish. Oh, that was cool. Oh, that's perfect. But the only problem is I wish it would have come off before I climbed through the fence. That was great though. And that was, I'm a little snagged up on a stick. Got him. That was amazing. That was so freaking cool. Oh yeah. Yeah. That was so cool. I was just walking up along that fence, and I was just saying, I'm like, there's gotta be a fish right here somewhere. And I peeked over the edge. I just kind of almost stood on my toes and peeked over the edge right there. and saw that fish, and then just made a little tiny chip shot in order to get him. And I'm glad. Look at this. Look at this. Guide of the year right here. Dow's bringing the long net to get him. Yeah, buddy. So that's why they got the long-handled net. Get him back in the water quick. Go ahead and let him go. That was sweet. Thanks, Dow. Now I see why he brought the long net. Thanks, dude. Anyways, that's that Rio's ground beetle. That one seems to be getting bit. So great fly. It's always produced really well. That was fun. That was like, you know, you prepare for fishing here with, you know, for long casts and things like that, and then there's a lot to be said about just being able to make you get one shot, just an accurate little tiny chip shot, like right at your feet. That was really cool. I mean, it was like right underneath there. So we're gonna keep stalking along, and I think we're dry fly only at this point. This is getting pretty good. Oh, he just moved. We were hiking back, kind of from our first half the day of fishing, and I switched up to this little itty bitty silly stone. It's a Rio fly, and it's got those green legs. The water here is so clear that they can just see extremely well, and I tried a lot of different little flashy nymphs, and then I put this little tiny number 14 silly stone on it. Looks like a big mayfly nymph just sitting suspended, because those legs can flap around and move. And I hooked 3 fish on that after I'd had very little success on some of the other flies here. And yeah, I was trying dry fly only, but I went back to a dropper because it's just all pure sight casting, and you can see these fish sharking around, eating, you know, just under the surface. So you get the visual enjoyment of dry fly fishing, but you are trying to match the hatch for those mayflies that they're eating. And I've tried a different series of flies, but we had one right at our feet here that I was just setting up to cast on. If we didn't spook it, he just wandered out of there. So anyway, we're gonna go back to the boat now and relocate to a new spot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh, they were racing for it. 2 of them racing for it. That was nuts. The smaller one got to it first. There was a fish going for the dry fly and a fish going for the dropper at the same time. And we could just barely see them in there. They were sitting pretty deep. That was awesome. Got him. Took that little itty bitty silly stone. And man, it'd been a long time since I'd had a take. Oh, he's already unhooked. Yeah, it'd been a long time since I'd had a take. And landed him pretty quick. Right there, beautiful. Hey, that was sweet.
Yeah.
And I got to get in the water and cool off. Yeah, that was a great pickup. Yeah, man, I could kind of see 2 fish in there, like very like, you know, just blurry objects. And I kind of like dunked it right in the middle of them. And then all of a sudden, like all hell broke loose. Both fish came to the surface at the same time. And I didn't even really have a plan. I was like, oh, they're both eating right now. So I just set and wound up getting the one on the dropper. So that was good fun. But we had kind of a dead spell for about an hour and a half or so with, you know, a lot of good opportunities and nothing happened. But we moved just a little bit. Oh no. He thought he was going to eat it. You have advice?
Patient only.
Patience. That may be the most difficult advice to execute. Patience is challenging. I just saw him swim right out from under the brush. Yeah, he was in the he was under those willows. It's been a really slow afternoon, but that storm just finally blew out. So we're hoping to pick it up. Oh, he got me caught up in the sticks. I knew that I felt something. Yeah, he busted me off. So yeah, I ended up losing my dropper, and it was a sight casting situation where I could just see him right up against the brush right there, and I put my fly as close as I felt comfortable. And yeah, it was a nice sized rainbow, but he ended up tying me up in the brush. There's logs and dead sticks and stuff all over the bottom. So I should have been a little bit more forceful with him, but it was just a clean break. I had a little jiggy pats underneath there, and I run it about 18 inches short, and I can throw my terrestrial in there, and when I give it a little little stutter, it'll make that pat stone jig a little bit. And I've watched some fish today when they are not paying attention to it, and then when I give it the little wiggle and that pat stone starts flapping its legs, you can see them peel off and come for it. So it's really cool to be able to actually add action to it and then get a reaction from the trout. So that was good. It's been a while since we've hooked one up, so it's great to tie into one again. I'm gonna re-rig that and do the same thing, and we'll keep pitching it up against the willows in here.
Yeah, all these parties where they are more.
Right back in that same hole. You ever see the brown trout in here?
Yeah.
Right out of that same hole. I'm gonna put a little bit more pressure on this one and try to keep him out of the weeds. That is so fun. So I'll show you what I was doing there, but I've just had so much success, and it's really fun. I'm working, so these fish in South America love to sit suspended. They're not on the bottom like they are back home. And you can hang, oh, that's a gorgeous rainbow. That's the prettiest rainbow of the day right there. Look at that fish. Just a gorgeous fish. Okay, so I've had more fun fishing that stupid bug. I fish it back home all the time. Yeah, it's not very creative. It's a pat stone, but what's different about how I'm fishing it here, and I fish this back home this way a lot, especially in lakes for big trout. And I love to just lay that thing right along a weed bed, and trout in lakes love it. And then I let it sink, and then I'll just bring my rod up and I'll just agitate the rod just the tiniest bit, and I get a little bit of movement out of the Chernobyl or terrestrial or whatever I'm fishing. It could be a hopper. And then I get that stonefly to actually flap its legs and move a little bit, and it seems like almost all of my strikes today on this fly, and I'll see if I can't get another one here out of that same hole. But I drop it in there, and I'm just going to agitate it just a little bit, and then rest it, and then agitate it, and rest it, and agitate it, and I can actually retrieve it right across a little eddy. So unlike most hopper droppers, where I'm just going to let it set and park it and soak it, I can actually cover a little bit of water and just really subtly move it towards myself. And I can actually swim that stonefly. I'm actually fishing it more as a dragonfly nymph, but I can swim that dragonfly nymph right over the top of the weed beds because I've got it sitting suspended. If I didn't have it under like a dry fly, for instance, it would just get in the weeds. It'd be a mess and be really frustrating. But I can actually pick apart holes in the weeds with it, give it a little action, and then I create my own strike, which is always really satisfying to be able to give a fly action and then get a reaction from the trout. Always feels really good and is a lot of fun. Good rainbow. Nice fish. I just gave it that little twitch. That was so fun. I just knew, I just twitched it just a little bit. Twitched it just a little bit, and I just knew that fish was gonna hammer it. That was so awesome. Perfect. There's a great rainbow. That's what I'm talking about right there. Heck yeah. Gosh, yes, I know it sounds stupid, but man, you get to actually wiggle and move that thing. It is so much fun. And this river is just full of these nice rainbows. Golly. And it's so cool. I'm basically fishing them in still water. It's so different. It's super different. Let's just get one nice look at that. Ah, they just want to swim away. I don't blame them. That's a good release. All right. Yeah. So just throwing in those holes and giving it that little jiggy jig, and God, that's killer. That's a lot of fun.
It's a nice one.
Oh, it is a nice one. Look at that. I got my buddy Marcos who's been taking photos and doing video all day.
Oh, it's a fat one.
Yeah, it is a fat one. Get the net. Grab that net. Yeah. All right. Oh, you don't mess around. Look at that. You got I've never seen a trout like that landed so fast, Marcos. Look at that beauty. Dude, that's a fat. Trucha gordo. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's a football, man. Beautiful, beautiful. Dude, way to go, Marcos.
Rookie luck.
Rookie. He's kind of learning to fish, and he's pretty good, but I've been fishing. I was like, oh, you got to fish, and we're just bullshitting, having a great time. First brown trout of the day. I kept asking about brown trout. Marcos, you ever see brown trout here? Oh, yeah, we see the brown trout.
Actually, most of them are browns. And I had to tell you.
Yeah, he had to show me. Oh my God, that was so funny. That was great. Way to go, man. That was awesome. Okay, end of day wrap up. I'm out of the wind, and I'm on the lee side of the lodge. I'm out of the rain. Look like, I don't know what I look like, but I don't look like I normally do. It's lodge time. We're about to have some drinks and share all our stories. Anyway, end of day one. Day one was great. I got to see suspended big feeding rainbows and back eddies just cruising and meandering around in the good sunlight in the morning. The fishing was really, really great. I could totally see the potential of that river had I had hours of that, like sight casting to suspended feeding fish. That would have been like epic. But we had to work for it in the afternoon. As you saw in the earlier videos, it got rainy, it got super windy, it got dark and made the fish harder to see. And we kind of punted the ball on a few sections of river and just motored downstream and skipped and really picked our battles wisely. But I would say like big takeaway from today was just not getting like, this is the first trip I've gone on where I haven't been super anxious on day one or worried about like, are we going to catch fish? What's everything going to be like? Is the fishing going to be good? And it might sound really stupid, but like just even if you haven't been on a big trip a lot of times, I encourage you to just enjoy all of the little things about the trip outside of just the fishing. It'll make the fishing taste so much sweeter and taste so much better because the catching is going to take care of itself when the conditions are right in a line. And there were moments today where you could have forced it and tried to fish into some of that wind and some of the situations, and you would have just wound up completely frustrated and really missing out on a lot of the other great things that are happening during the day. So anyway, that's the conclusion on day one. I almost feel sophisticated in this collared shirt and no hat here, but I assure you I am not. Tune in for day two and check out where we're going tomorrow. It'll be something totally different.